Developing the Spiritual Overself by Ernest L. Norman from the Lessons of Cosmic Continuum. In common abstractions based on our nuclear science, all matter can be resolved into energy. Therefore, in the pure idiom, this energy is part of the sum and total of what is commonly referred to as spirit. In other words, interdimensional forms of energy, manner of transmissional factors of dynamics, and the appearance of energy as seemingly solid matter are all part of these abstractions. Consequently, it can be universally resolved that, as all is energy, and as energy is dynamic, all action must therefore first take place in these seemingly invisible dimensions. This is just as true with man and his course of life as it is with the atomic constituents which make up his body. Consciousness in daily life is therefore an integrated pattern of relationships with numerous past transmissions of life as well as past lifetimes. These relationships, moving as oscillating patterns harmonically attuned to consciousness, can be pictured as various formations of sine wave energies. These past life experience relationships represent, in scientific parlance, the negative polarity of life, as all polarities must be equated into two basic and diametrically opposed opposites. We must therefore have with this negative side of life a positive pole, which gives not only a basic equilibrium, but it is that which makes all common forms of energy transmission possible. A universally recognized concept of this positive polarity relates the individual to the various inspirational aggregates which he finds in his daily life. Such aggregates are the various religious systems, pantheologies, etc., which he has always automatically regarded as spiritual in nature, obviously as is posed by the negative polarity, referred to as the subconsciousness, and which composes by far the largest part of the ego. The individual must then have a positive polarity which can be represented as the spiritual ego. Jesus referred to the spiritual ego as the Father within. This ego, through frequency relationship, resolves itself into an infinite number of forms of consciousness, which will through the common interchange of polarity patterns thus be joined in a common union of associations. This common joining does two things. It neutralizes caustic negative effects, which always subsequently occur in future happenings to this individual, and it also polarizes the corresponding idiom of consciousness in the superego. The individual will then, in the concourse of thousands of lives, develop this spiritual ego into such proportions that it becomes the dominant polarity in his life. Such a person can thus be said to be overshadowed by a superhuman being. Thus he will then reflect into his daily earth life such attributes as were expressed in the life of Jesus. For in that individual, we can find a true example of this highly developed spiritual overself, reflecting through and influencing the physical life in various acts which the physical man has termed godlike. The average person then, who is seeking truth and an escape from the material world with its purgatory of karma, must always carry foremost in his mind the vision of the higher self. He must give it every opportunity to guide him in his daily life. He must also use it only with the most positive solutions and wiser attitudes toward various life experiences, for only in positive consciousness is the superego developed. Thus, the superego becomes the master over the lower negative self, and it can then be said that this person has been saved by Christ, his own Christ self.